Hey, so let me tell you why this video is late. I wanted it out on Halloween, but some publishing houses or something that I can't pronounce the names of were a little upset about me using clips of their shitty movie for a running gag, so I had to remake large chunks of the video with the jokes removed and replaced. Now the video is done and I hope you enjoy it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
We didn't manage to convince Leonard to help our cause, but we did get his precious seal rock thing that he was protecting. Time to head back to the motel and tell Douglas what we found.
Where's Douglas?
He went out. But he left a message for you.
Was there someone else here just now?
No, just me. Don't you want to know what the message is?
Yeah, what did he say?
The church is on the other side of the lake.
Church? Wonder what he meant by that.
You don't understand? That's where Claudia is. Across the lake. On the north side. If you're going, you better go through the amusement park. It's probably the only way in now. Go northwest on Nathan Avenue. It's a bit far, but closer than heaven.
Is that it for the message?
Uh-huh.
Thanks. Douglas really said that?
What's wrong? You don't trust me?
The amusement park, huh? That's all the way on the other side of Toluca Lake, back in Paleville from Silent Hill 1. Oh, that's a long way to walk. Better start hoofing it.
Oh, hell.
The Lakeside Amusement Park was once a popular tourist destination on Toluca Lake, most well known for their famous pink mascot, Robbie the Rabbit, though these Robbies have seen better days for sure. I toyed with the idea of brightening up this area in post because it's just so fucking dark, but I decided that having the authentic experience was more important to me, so good luck seeing shit. If you want everything to be lit up with all the colors sucked out, play the HD collection. And by that I mean don't. This gift shop is a place we could have reached in the dream, but there wasn't anything there at the time for obvious reasons. Even now, all we got is an ampule and some ammo. Helpful, but nothing. That did not happen the first time. That loud banging was a stack of tins that's fallen onto the floor to reveal a key to the roller coaster control room. If you still recall what happened all the way back at the beginning, you know this is going to be a tool of great importance. These guys have been present throughout more or less the entire game up to this point. All the way back to the shopping center, actually. I just didn't have more than a few fleeting glimpses of them to show you before. So I waited until we could get a better look to introduce them properly. A spinning death machine that horrifyingly shrieks through the air, pendulums are dangerous crimes against humanity. Pendulums are composed of two bandaged human-like torsos, merged together with a rusty clamp. Attached to their sides are a pair of makeshift legs, stitched together from rusted metal parts, ending in a sharp point. Atop each of their featureless heads is a large blade that resembles an old-time straight razor. Most obviously, they are also capable of flight, with their imbalanced form causing them to violently swing in a circular motion as they come for you. I know this holds true for all enemies, but pendulums especially are an absolute do not fight unless you have to situation. You can only use firearms on them. They don't always stagger when you shoot them like they should. They're fast, and because this game was made in 2003, the lock-on to moving targets isn't the best. Once again, we find our protagonist Heather trapped at a dead end. Our only option is to cross along the roller coaster track, but this time we've got the key to the control booth, so let's be sure to power it off this time.
I hired you to find the girl, and you performed serviceably. What is it now?
You lied to me about Heather, lady. I don't like being used.
Lie? What lie?
That Heather was kidnapped from you.
But it's true. She was originally one of us. That man, Harry Mason, stole her away and kept her hidden from us.
Yeah, but she says she was happy.
She was brainwashed by him, deceived, because her true self had not yet awoken. She carries God within her. But when a lesser, Mother of God, truly awakens...
Yeah? What's gonna happen?
She will usher in the eternal paradise.
What kind of place is that?
A place with no pain, no hunger, no sickness, no old age. There will be no greed or war, and all will live by God's grace alone.
No this, no that, no nothing. A paradise? For castrated sheep, maybe. Sounds pretty boring.
I pity you. You still don't understand. You're going to kill me? Is it really so easy for you?
I've done it before.
Then I truly do pity you.
Normally, I would argue how convenient this ticket stand's location is, but If I can accept that 7-year-old Carrie ripped her soul out, then ate the soul, then abracadabbed a baby out of thin air, and then that baby had a rooftop katana battle with a garbage bag assassin because a shitty cult based in the world's worst Six Flags wanted her romance novel writer dad dead because he pulled the LAN cable in their game of Goat Simulator 17 years ago, I can accept that Heather bought herself some extra time with the Switch and happened to see somewhere safe to land. Borley Haunted Mansion. The idea of going through a haunted house in a horror game does present an interesting dynamic. It's fun to see the juxtaposition between the hell world that Heather's been going through and the super safe and fake typical haunted house shenanigans.
Help! Help! Do you hear those voices? A family of 4 was sliced into bloody pieces in this room. Oh, the cries of the children. The murderer was caught. Do you know why he said he killed his family? Because I felt I had to! Anyway, I'm lying. It's all just a joke. I wanted to scare you, that's all. The truth is, only one person died. By suicide. That's Danny. A quiet young man, but quite friendly as you can see.
I'm gonna let this one slide because this is supposed to be a shitty haunted house. So of course there's a bad jump scare with a stock scream. For whatever reason, this body ain't budging, so let's saunter over to the staff exit.
This mansion is quite old, so please watch your step. Sometimes the floor suddenly gives way. I'm so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see. It wasn't supposed to stop there, I assure you.
That was a fun scare, unless you're playing on hard action difficulty. And what is the only major difference between the action difficulties? This ceiling will kill you on hard or higher unless you enter caution mode before it falls. This is because the spikes fall a little lower on hard, and holding R2 makes Heather crouch ever so slightly.
That was supposed to be the exit, but it seems that no one wants you to leave. Everyone really likes you. They want you to stay with them forever. Dying is much easier.
Alright, this bit is a really cool idea, but the lack of camera control makes it very obnoxious to complete with regular controls. I always have to switch back over to tank controls, what the game calls 3D controls, in order to get this bit done. On a performance stage, we come to find a lone red shoe that's described by Heather as too small, which is a bizarrely specific thing to say about it, unless you're familiar with the story of Cinderella. And Silent Hill's obsession with 19th century children's media means I'll need this to progress so I can murder that lady what done killed my dad.
Douglas,
You're late.
are you hurt?
I can't move my right leg. I think it's broken.
I'll call an ambulance.
What? I don't think one will come. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
You old fool! Getting yourself hurt like that?
Sorry.
Why did you have to do that for me? What'll I do if you die?
What'll we do if this god thing gets born?
Come on. How powerful could a god from a dump like this be? I'm sure it'll be no big deal.
Yeah, but anyway, it's something's gonna happen.
Who knows? Maybe we'd all be better off if it did.
But if this is how a God of Mercy acts, I don't want to see any more of him. That's a pretty good reason to risk my life, don't you think? Plus, I'm just an old fool, right?
You think you're Superman or something?
You know, I always wanted to be him. Besides,
Yeah.
I want to help you out.
You don't have to feel responsible. I know it's not your fault.
You remind me of my son.
You said nobody was going to cry for you.
Dead people don't cry. Stupid kid got himself shot robbing a bank.
But why?
Maybe because his pop was a penniless good-for-nothing. Who knows? Anyway, now I guess I'll never find out. Sorry. I shouldn't have said you reminded me of a guy like you.
Well, maybe if you had compared me to your daughter. Listen, I'll take care of the rest. You stay here and I'll be back when it's over.
You'll be okay by yourself.
Hey, no problem. Besides, my dad's not around anymore, so only I can do this. What are you doing?
Maybe killing you here is the only way to end this nightmare.
Yeah, you might be right.
A fortune teller's house. Somehow in a game with a million premonitions, nothing happens in here. There's just a creepy-ass doll head. Cutting through a fairy tale themed minecart ride, we're stopped by a locked door, flanked by statues of two women, Snow White and Cinderella. A photo on the ground shows silhouettes of the princesses, only these shadows are slightly different. The real Snow White is missing her apple, and Cinderella is missing her glass slipper. Well, it's not glass, but a Nightmare Shadow Realm doesn't know the difference between shoe material. And this doll head is shaped like an apple. Dahlia's the one who said it. Said that the girl was a demon. That she took my daughter for a sacrifice. But it's not totally believable. I mean, appearances can be deceiving. When I saw that photo in the hospital basement, I thought, that girl looks like Cheryl. Is that why I feel this way? Something's not normal, anyway. Nothing good will come of this. But I just can't think of her as a demon. Is it my imagination, or do I actually feel sorry for her? Why do I feel like she's looking for someone to help? Cheryl's what's important to me. Everything else can wait until I've gotten her back. Red notepads were the save points in Silent Hill 1. It looks like Harry was spending that time recording the events he was experiencing, in case they could somehow help a future survivor. Since the notepad is on this cart here, that means the carousel should be nearby as well. Oh fuck, it's moving. Okay, When 13 counts turn 4, you'll die from their curse. If you wish to escape, there is but one way out. To kill before you are killed, you will be saved by the 12th death. Alright, 12th death. The horses are spewing out some sort of gas from their mouths. This will kill Heather if we don't act quickly. Take out the maul because it's the strongest option and strike all 12 of the mutilated horses until they stop moving. The part of Heather's subconscious that still contains Alessa's feelings and memories has manifested itself as a shadowy apparition that stands in her way. The memory of Alessa looks identical to Heather on a physical level. It even has her original black hair before she dyed it to go into hiding with her dad. As such, her self-defense capabilities are also identical. The memory of Alessa cycles through 4 of Heather's weapons throughout the fight, and she uses them in much the same way, starting with the knife, then the handgun, then the steel pipe, and finally the SMG. Because she's limited in the same ways Heather is, it's quite easy to beat her without wasting a single bullet. The katana is strong and fast enough to handle both of her melee forms, and hey, I actually used the block this time just for shits and giggles, and boy, does it make these phases a joke. The handgun and machine gun phases are a little more troubling, at least until you realize that by rushing Alessa when she's holding a firearm, you'll cause her to try and widen the gap between you. So as long as you counterintuitively rush after the person with the gun, and you stay on top of her, she might not even get a chance to fire. It would be better for myself to die. After all, it's nothing to be afraid of. That child, that demon. When I think of the endless pain it will bring when it's birthed, I decided that, instead of suffering the cruelty I had endured in that sick room, that I would like to bestow a more gentle and peaceful death on myself. Why do I resist? I never thought of myself as such a fool. Alessa, I guess it's kinda strange for me to call you that, since you are me, but you know what? You and I don't think alike after all, and it's not that I don't remember being in that sick room either.
did you get here? It was Vincent, wasn't it? He led you here. When will he cease his meddling? But it's just as well. Luring you here also serves my purposes.
Checkmate.
Not yet. The time is not yet at hand. The time when all will be forgiven their sins. When the paradise we have long dreamed for will arrive. After the judgment and atonement, an eternity of bliss. Oh, Alessa, the world you wanted is nearly here.
That's not what I want.
Not you. Alessa. Your true self.
But I am Alessa. My little Claudia, my dear sweet sister.
Alessa? Is it you? Oh, how I've missed you.
I don't need another world. It's fine the way it is.
But you said it yourself. The world must first be cleansed with fire.
But that's not what I want now.
Alessa, don't you want happiness? Have you become blind to all the hopeless suffering in the world? We all need God's salvation.
Listen, suffering is a fact of life. Either you learn how to deal with that or you go under. You can stay in your own little dream world, but you can't keep hurting other people. Besides, I'll never forgive you for hurting my father.
I wish only for the salvation of mankind. But for that to happen, the world must first be remade. And for that, we need God.
You self-righteous witch! No one asked you to help!
It's growing within you. You despise me, don't you?
You're damned right I do!
That's good.
Oh boy, it's not a spooky game without a tarot card. I'm sure this will have future puzzle-related uses. Adorning the chapel walls, 6 portraits that explain the Order's backstory. Pause and read them if you want, cause I ain't doing it. There's a ton of religious lore for the Order here, and I just don't care. I love Silent Hill so much, but there's a reason none of this Saint Jennifer, Zushalbara, Serpent Reed shit never gets brought up again, despite the Order's continued presence. There's way too much of it, it has nothing to do with the story, and it's really uninteresting. It's a confusing mishmash of Christianity, Native American, and Satanist craziness that after 7 games of constant additions and rereading dozens of lore entries, I'm still not entirely sure what the Order specifically believes. Other than, there is a god of some kind who has to be reborn through whatever method for whatever reason so they can do something, but none of the members can agree upon what it is or how it will happen. This is the only part in the entire game I would say is poorly written. It's amazing how they can say so much and still say absolutely nothing of value.
Dear God, please forgive me. I know I'll be put to death for the sins I've committed. And I'll go to my death gladly and with a peaceful heart. But please, grant me just a small piece of your everlasting mercy. Let me see my child once within your golden gates. Deliver me not to hell, but to purgatory. Allow me to atone for my sins there. I'll stand within the very flames of redemption, no matter how they burn me. Forgive me for my wicked act of revenge. And deliver the soul of my poor murdered daughter. Please, also care for the soul of the girl whose life I have taken. God, I am a child, trembling with fear as I stare at death. Soothe my tortured soul with your infinite mercy. Please, forgive me.
The confessional woman is another mystery that has no concrete answer. While there are theories that it could be Dahlia Gillespie, or some sort of apparition of Claudia's consciousness, I think it's something more vague and symbolic than that. And Silent Hill, yeah, who would have guessed? I think the grieving woman is meant to serve as a reflection of Heather's current goals and feelings. She could potentially be dooming the entire world by coming to Silent Hill and letting Claudia's plan go forward if she were to fail. But she's so consumed by her emotions over Harry's death that she's hell-bent on getting revenge anyway. Considering Silent Hill's tendency to pull from people's subconscious and make them confront their insecurities, it could be that Heather isn't sure if killing someone out of vengeance is a forgivable act. It could also be an instance of Heather taking the role of God that the Order is attempting to thrust onto her. This is supported by the unviewable Possessed stat. The Possessed stat is a secret number hidden from the player that increases when Heather performs a variety of specific actions, most commonly killing monsters. Forgiving the Confessor is the single most possessed action in the game. While taking out an enemy gives 10 points apiece, forgiving the Confessor gives 1,000 points. This is likely because Heather is playing at God by answering a prayer and granting forgiveness, a role she should be completely rejecting. Something's wrong with the monsters here. More than usual, at any rate. Speaking of more than usual, insane cancers! Recall me explaining that insane cancers are essentially damage check walls that exist to soak up resources, but they go a little overboard here. This area is a contender for narrowest in the game. Running past these guys is not really an option because of hitboxes, and even if you do, there's a lot of backtracking around, so they'll get you on the rebound. And there's like 8 of them in the chapel. You would completely exhaust whatever remaining ammo you had left if you tried to kill all of them. In a strangely plain-looking library, there's a readable book explaining the origins of tarot, which isn't important, but hey, have a history lesson if you want, along with another tarot card on the back desk.
Hiya, Heather.
You show up everywhere, don't you?
You make me sound like some kind of unwanted pest.
Well, who are you anyway?
Haven't you realized that yet?
Yeah, you're on Claudia's side.
I told you not to put me in the same category as that mad woman.
Well, you're pretty loony yourself.
It's true. We believe in the same God. But I'm quite sane.
So why did you help me out then? Was that also part of trying to resurrect God?
It's not uncommon for people to worship the same God and still disagree.
God? Are you sure you don't mean devil?
Whichever you like. The point is that now I really am on your side. I don't want God to be born. Wouldn't be convenient. Much too unpredictable.
So you've been using me to stop Claudia, is that it? Do your own dirty work.
My dirty work? I think we both had our own interests in mind. You hate her too, don't you? You're the only one who can get it done. I don't have powers like you two. Besides, I always hated getting all hot, sweaty.
Oh, really?
I'm just looking out for myself. Everyone does it. Huh. Don't stand there looking so smug. You're the worst person in this room. You come here and enjoy spilling their blood. And listening to them cry out. You feel excited when you step on them and snuff out their lives.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters? They look like monsters to you? Oh no. Don't worry. It's just a joke. By the way, I forgot to ask you. Did you get the seal of Metatron?
What's that?
You don't have it? Leonard was carrying it!
You mean this thing?
Yes, that's it. As long as we have that, we're fine. Here, take this.
There it is. The most debated cutscene in the entire Silent Hill fandom. They looked like monsters to you. How literal is this line meant to be? The obvious implication is that Heather has been killing people that she only viewed as monsters due to Silent Hill's powers over perception. He claims to be joking, but is it really that simple? Seeing how human the enemies have been around here, you can't help but wonder if there's some truth to his statement. I could talk about this line for like an entire hour, so I'm just gonna cut myself off and move on. A little familiar, huh? Scrapers are smaller, weaker versions of the missionary, both looking and behaving more or less the same. They still block bullets, but it's not as cumbersome as they have very little health. The trick to watch out for is that they often appear in these elevator areas above bottomless pits, and their dash attacks could knock you off if you aren't anticipating it. It's probably safe to say they're just simply soldiers of the Order and aren't designed to represent anything specific. Oh, this is Alessa's hospital room. That means those crying footsteps must have been... Another tarot. And what's this book about? A glophodus. Red liquid or crystals resembling blood. According to the Kabbalah, the name is taken from an herb with the power to dispel evil spirits. It's said to grow in Arabian deserts. It may be vaporized or applied as a poultice to guard against demons. It is powerful, but as it is rare, it is extremely difficult to obtain. This looks just like Harry's room. And there's another journal on the bed. I sometimes have the sense even now that that girl is a reincarnation of Alessa. I don't worry about it much now. That's all forgiven. You were unloved, Cheryl. Or was that Alessa? No, Cheryl is Alessa again. No matter whose reincarnation she may have been, that girl was my most beloved treasure. But that name was a mistake. At the time I thought only of her as a replacement for my lost Cheryl. When she knows the truth, will she feel bad? That's what worries me. Alessa's classroom. It's the same as when we saw it in Silent Hill 1. It's clear that all the other students turned on her because of her powers, treated her like some kind of freak. It's a lot for a 7-year-old to deal with. Whose room is this? Judging by the letter on the desk, maybe Vincent's? On the shelf, we can use a tape recorder to listen to a cassette I found a little earlier. We don't have to listen to the whole thing. It's a log of a woman talking to Father Vincent. The only info to glean from this is that Claudia used some sort of sixth sense given to her by Silent Hill to locate Heather, explaining what would otherwise have been a pretty unbelievable coincidence even in this universe. In the adjacent room, we find a 5th tarot card and a diary on the bookshelf. Claudia, huh? Let's see what's been going on in the head of that whack job. November 10th. She didn't die then. She was born. I knew that for a fact. But then, why haven't I found her yet? They were supposed to need her power to build paradise, for the happiness of the people. She was supposed to be reborn for that. I'd really like to see her. November 14th. Read The Book of Praise. I want to thank Father for lending me such an invaluable book. I found what I'd been searching for in there. How to awaken God. But it's much too cruel. Will I be able to pull it off when I see her? November 16th. I was free all day, so I read A Modern History of Refugees and Young Slaves, Child Exploitation. I don't want to be a mere bystander in this world. I can't do anything now, though, and that's what's hard. To little Claudia, happy 6th birthday. I love you as if you were my real sister. Here's to you. That's why Claudia's been acting like this. Alessa was her best friend. 2 abused children who found solace in each other's company. I get the feeling that Claudia might not be so adherent to the order out of blind faith, but more like desperation, trying to find some sort of peace or justification for the terrible fate that befell her only friend. Unlike Dahlia or Leonard, who just gave the impression of being an evil dickhead, Claudia seems to genuinely want God to create paradise and heal the world. Her reasons don't matter, though. It's not an excuse for what she's done. She's just beyond this door. I don't know how, but I can sense it. But she's not the only one there. I sense the presence of something extremely dangerous, even sickening, or maybe what they call God. Nevertheless, I will open the door. Enough of this idle chit-chat. God, I'm not, but I fully intend to save her. No. Them. Greetings and salutations, dear viewer. You're just in time for us to solve the final puzzle of Silent Hill 3, the Tarot Door Puzzle. On Alessa's bed is a sketchbook, the same one owned by a young Cheryl during her trip to Silent Hill. Inside is the following. The door sure does rattle, but it's stuck tight. A secret is hidden out of your sight. You may be thinking, what could it be? You'll need 5 magic cards if you want to see. What do you do then with all these? I'll tell you straight and I won't tease, just as long as you say please. Now the first thing you must know is that there's something in each row, but that is not the half of it. 3 would be too hard to fit. The upside down man under the ground. To his right, to his left, there's no one around. Leave him alone though, his tears are profound. The moon is up above the sky, full or crescent, floating high. Twinkling light sits like a crown in the head of a crazy clown. Your Excellency, praying to God Most High, do you think you can tell me why you always look up at the night sky? Do you have it now? You didn't forget. One major point you must not omit. And now at last, before you take a whack, is one more hint to keep you on track. Scary and hateful, that thing in the night. Better be careful, it's not on your right. Turn to the left and you'll keep it in sight. So you'll open the door, I'm sure that there'll be nothing beyond it but frightening peril. Forget about that, just stay and play, or else I'll be left here alone all day. Ugh, whimsical. On to the hard part. Heather should have picked up 5 tarot cards around nowhere at this point. The Fool, the Hanged Man, the High Priestess, the Moon, and a made-up card called the Eye of Night. There's 9 slots in the door, and surprise, surprise, the poem tells us where to put them. Let's start with the Hanged Man because he's the most clear-cut placement. The Hanged Man in tarot is always hanging by his leg, so he's the upside-down man, and we should put him under the ground with no one around. So, bottom row, in the middle, by himself. The Moon is the moon, floating high, so it goes on the top, but we don't know where yet. The Crazy Clown is the Fool, and the twinkling light that sits like a crown is the moon, meaning the Fool goes under the moon. But remember, none of the rows fill all 3 card slots, so the Moon and the Fool will go to the right for now. We'll move them later if we have to. Your Excellency, looking up at the night, is the High Priestess, and the night is clearly the Eye of the Night. And since the night is said to be on the left, that means the completed door looks like this. A good puzzle to end things on. Not particularly challenging, but not an obtuse, unsolvable disaster like the hard mode riddles, so I prefer this. I'm satisfied with the whole thing, as is the Enigma Zone, so it bids you farewell for now. But who knows when the confusion and stress of brain-melting trials will again call upon this dimensional void and pray for its assistance.
What do I want? Well, for the two of you to die, that would be nice. Then I could relax.
When did you stop believing in God? God lives. Just look around you.
But I do believe in her. In my own way. I fear her, and I adore her. But I haven't lost my mind like you. You think that this is the work of God? Isn't this all nothing more than your own personal nightmare? Just like Alessa 17 years ago? If this really is the work of God, then I'd say she has lousy taste.
You mock God? You will go to hell.
Not that again! Who do you think you are, claiming to know God's will?
Go home, Vincent.
Home? This church is my home. I built it with my power. The power of money that you view with such scorn. Although I admit that this atrocious scenery is all yours.
If you continue to get in my way,
Then you'll kill me? Well. Well. The guest of honor has arrived. Let's get this party started. Heather, go ahead and kill this crazy bitch. This demon who claims to speak for God. The time has come. You can kill her now.
you'll go to hell!
What did you do?
Nothing important.
You're not going to run? I guess this is the end.
No, the beginning. As Vincent said, the time has come. Alessa, I'm saddened that you didn't agree to this on your own. But I thank you for nurturing God with all the hate in your heart. It's time for mankind to be released from the shackles of sin which bind them.
But a god born from hatred can never create a perfect paradise.
Happy people can be so cruel. Is it so hard to believe that sympathy could be born out of pain and suffering? Why do you reject God's mercy? Why do you cling to this corrupt world? You know that only God can save us.
And save you too? Happy ending? I'd rather
I've caused you, I deserve no mercy. Even if it was to save mankind. It was too deep a sin. It was hubris for me to try to hasten the day of her arrival. Sacrifices were made. And those are my sins.
You feel so guilty about it. Why don't you go to hell? Heather! Use the seal!
Vincent? The seal of Metatron?
Now your stupid dream is over!
Oh, that's just a piece of junk. What do you think you can do with that? Do you really think it can kill God? I'm sorry to see you fell for my father's foolishness.
What?
You're pathetic. But God loves even you. Now, Alessa, there's nowhere else to run. Just accept it, Alessa. The pain will disappear. I've been waiting so long for this. Even as a child, I knew I would see the coming of this day. I knew I would be a witness to it. Judgment Day. Alessa?
Shut your stinking mouth, bitch!
Your natural instinct in this moment is understandably to finally kill Claudia, but as the game has been saying, revenge isn't the answer. Attacking Claudia isn't an option. If Heather gives in to her hatred, that hatred will fuel the fetus within her and cause the birth of God. We have to think of something, but we don't have anything to stop Claudia without damaging her. If we had any of that Aglaophatus stuff, we could use it to force the God from Heather's body, but Aglaophatus is stupidly difficult to find or create, and how could Heather have known she needed to find some earlier, even if she could? The only person who could have known to use Aglaophatus to exercise God's power is someone who's done it before.
Looks like God didn't make it.
Stop! God is...
Claudia!
Lessa, you cannot kill God. I will birth God. If you can't do it, Lessa, I will.
Claudia! Can't be dead. I was gonna kill you. This is God?
Thanks to Heather's actions, God has been aborted and exists in an incomplete state, her lower half being severely underdeveloped. Unable to even walk, the god lashes out at her mother in rage. She looks a lot like Alessa. God is the final boss, so don't be afraid to give her everything you've got. She can only be seriously hurt when her head is exposed. When she rises and tucks her head under that red veil, there's no reason to waste high-tier ammunition. When veiled, God sends out waves of fire that track harder and increase in number as the confrontation drags on. 1 or 2 handgun bullets will knock her off balance and force her down to striking distance, though she will try to pull herself back up after a short while. When crippled, she'll violently swing her arms to try and protect her head where she's most vulnerable. Then it's unloading time. Pump every last hunk of lead you've got into her. Well, maybe not that far. When you've done a considerable amount of damage, I don't know, around 60 or 70 handgun shots worth, it's hard to gauge. You'll just have to trust your instincts and get a feel for it. So anyway, when her health is getting low, you need to, and I know this sounds dumb, you need to switch to a melee weapon. You get a very useful and powerful item if you beat God with a physical strike instead of a gun, so you should really try and go for it. Keep in mind that God's sweep attack is pretty infrequent when she's grounded, and it doesn't do that much damage. Also of note is the Ampul's hidden effect. You should have been saving these full heals throughout the game, and have a good handful of them by now. The reason they're important here is that in addition to bringing you back to full health, they restore your stamina, meaning Heather's strength and attack speed can be instantly restored without having to run away and stand around for 15 seconds.
Is that the end? I guess it's time to roll the credits. You're still alive.
Heather, what, Heather?
Just a joke.
You've got terrible taste.
Sorry.
Heather, did
You don't have to call me that. I'm not hiding anymore.
You want me to use your real name? What was it again?
Cheryl. The name my father gave me.
You gonna let your hair color go back too?
I don't know. Don't you think blondes have more fun?
Spoke of tortured souls, so outrageous the toll.
Welcome to the Silent Hill rating screen, where the rules are made up, but the points do matter. Here's where your performance will be judged on a variety of factors, and the game decides what rewards you deserve. Let me be clear right off the bat, these ratings are not reflective of an average playthrough. I spent a large amount of time dicking around, wasted quite a few items, took a lot of hits, and saved incessantly solely for recording purposes. So an average first playthrough should probably be a little better than this. Each category gives you a number of stars based on your skill. There are 100 stars available. Every 10 little stars gives you a big star, and you're shooting for what's called a 10-star ranking. 10-star rankings are crazy to get, and I've never gotten one myself in any Silent Hill, so I can't give you any tips, but I can give you a basic look at what you need to do. complete the game on hard or extreme action level, complete the game on hard riddle level, clear the game in less than 3 hours, kill the split worm in less than 2 minutes, kill the missionary in less than 2 minutes, kill Leonard in less than 3 minutes, kill the memory of Alessa in less than 3 minutes, and kill God in less than 8 minutes. Clear the game a total of 5 times or more, save no more than 2 times, collect 130 items and 5 or more special items, defeat 75 enemies by shooting them, defeat 75 enemies through melee attacks, and take less than 500% damage through the whole game. And that's the story of why I don't have a 10-star ranking. If you fulfilled certain conditions, this is also where you'll get an assortment of special items to use in New Game Plus. The Beam Saber is earned if you've killed more enemies with melee than with firearms. The Flamethrower is earned if you've done the reverse, that being kill more enemies with firearms than melee attacks. Both of these are made stronger upon receiving a 10-star ranking, even though they'd be useless at that point. And the Unlimited Ammo Submachine Gun is earned for killing the final boss, God, with a melee attack. Outside of items, you'll also earn a bullet adjust point each time you clear the game. You can earn up to 5 of these in total, and by going to the options menu, you can adjust how much ammo Heather receives from each pickup, up to 5 times the normal amount, meaning a regular box of handgun ammunition can have 50 bullets in it instead of just 10. You also unlock the costume menu, and a few other little things, but we'll talk about those another time, cause I decided I will eventually make the bonus video anyway. I'd feel like I left things unfinished if I didn't. However, it will not be the next video uploaded. I have some other stuff I want to do, so you can likely expect the extra episode sometime in December. And so, let's not bother with final thoughts or goodbyes today, cause we're not quite done yet.